go into sex without
Before you
saying
even
hello
reach
to
that
someone.
point, a man needs to exhibit other traits and qualities. Look at the music that's portrayed by black female artists. All right, guys, what's up? We're back with another episode, and this topic is going to be focused on Dr. Cheyenne Bryant's interview on The Breakfast Club, where she talks about high-value men. Now, I just want to give this disclaimer. This is just my opinion and breaking down the logic of Dr. Bryant. There's a lot of women in my comments. If you want to take a 41-year-old woman's advice when it comes to dating, be my guest. I'm just here to tell you what men want and what men actually look for. So let's get into the video.
That attachment anxiety.
Now, I got a couple of questions, right? Like one, I want to know, what is your definition of a high value man? That's number one. And then two, what you said about attachment anxiety. Is it okay for the woman to feel insecure if she knows this man ain't really out here doing
100%.
business? He out here really
That's called discernment.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right,
call him
okay.
out on that.
Okay.
And transparency. What's up? I'm feeling some type of way. What's going on? What are you doing? I'm feeling this way. And I just think two respectful people who are choosing each other and not just the relationship are going to have those conversations. And that's what those older couples who've been married 20, 30 years is teaching you, how you have those conversations. And baby, when your man tell you he out here turning corners, he not really turning bills, how do you stick through that? How do you stay without losing your dignity? How do you still be to submit to this man, cooking and cleaning and having sex, making love to this man without being disgusted at the fact that he's either stepped out emotionally, physically, or mentally? How do you keep that? How do you keep going?
That was going to be my question.
That's what the older folks say. They don't tell you how to be happy. Envy, they telling you how to roll through and stick through some shit. That's what they teaching you.
Well, my grandfather was like, leave that bitch. He wasn't talking about that. Yeah, because that's how it be. Like back in the day, and he was still with my grandmother, but he just still was just like, man, like leave that bitch now, because I would have left this bitch back in the day. But
See,
then
and I've been
me.
grandpa because I've been leaving. But now I say I'm in my choosing stage, and I'm really looking forward to staying. But it will be my first time utilizing a lot of my new tools. Not new meaning a year ago, but you new because I've been single 6 years, of this attachment anxiety I've had to work through, of what that looks like. So there's going to be things in me that are new, that inflame and trigger, that I'm going to have a hell of a man who's mature enough, emotionally intelligent enough to sit through certain conversations with me that are going to be transparent.
So what is a high value man? Because I heard you reference Cam as a high value man with a low value, I guess, just a low vibration.
Low function.
Yes,
Low function.
Very low
function.
functioning.
So what is your definition of high value? Because to me, it just sounds like high value to you is like superficial stuff.
High value just means that it's pretty much like you're making a lot of money. You have a lot of tangible things. You're high value.
Your value is
your
high.
value is high, and your monetary value, your value is high. Meaning, you got a man who's making $100 million, then he's high valued, and women who are superficial, but I'm not knocking y'all, sis, okay, are very attracted to that. But again, are they choosing the man or are they choosing the value?
The value.
But some people are so poor, all they got is money.
And so,
You know what I mean?
and that goes to where this is going to be a very, very unpopular opinion, or very popular, but it's going to cause a lot of controversy. I always say, if you realize the most prettiest, beautiful women, many of them, men have put a baby in them, but ain't made a wife out of them. And I go to the high value men, have put babies in them, but ain't made a wife out of them. Because those women are choosing the value in them, and those men are choosing the low functionality in her. So that's a match made in heaven for them. Even though the fairy tale ends at some point, and everybody goes back to the drawing board and comes into my session and says, because I can't name. I have some very, very A-list celebrity women who come in and say, I'm beautiful, I'm successful, I can have any man I want, I'm lonely as hell, and I'm afraid that I'm not alone.
Yeah.
But you have a child. You've been married to this A-list big NBA player, and the relationship is now over, and you feel like you're gonna be alone because you never learned to choose anything of substance. So you were hollow the whole time. So you're not afraid of being alone physically. You're afraid of being alone emotionally because you've been alone this whole time. So you don't even have a relationship with yourself.
Anyway.
So who you really don't want to be with is you.
So why should we
Because
call
being
those,
alone is about being with you.
So why should we call those brothers high value then?
Because value, based on how I define it, is just money. Like, I'm a high valued woman, right? I have a multi-million-dollar home. I come from the hood. I went from the hood to the hills, but I've accumulated a lot of value, right? I drive luxury cars. I have a certain lifestyle. But I would be low functioning if I preyed on men that I know I can use. If I preyed on men that I know I can say, eat, sleep, and poop me and shut up while I go run amok. Be in your beta, because I said so. That's low functioning to me. High value and high functioning would be, now I want a man who can stand on, he's vertical. Because every human being is a hybrid. We're all high functioning and low functioning. So there's going to be moments where I get in my low functioning. And if I get in my low functioning and I start to say things that are emasculating to you, I don't want a low functioning man. I want you to say, baby, I don't talk to you like that. And I don't like when you talk to me like that. I'm not going to leave you, but we got to work on this because I'm not some nothing ass nigga.
So what if you
know, and I love you and I respect you, so let's work through this.
What if you got a high value man? He got all the money. He might even be an alpha, but the dick little, and he trash in bed. So then what?
That's what I mean.
Because I'm just saying, because he can't. Because then what? Because you ain't gonna let him talk to you any old kind of way.
What?
Listen.
You ain't gonna let him talk to you any old kind of way. That's what I'm saying. He can be the alpha. He can have all the
I know
high
you
value.
ain't letting him talk to you any kind of way. That mouth go crazy.
Hey, yo.
If I had to choose between a little pito, okay, in my Spanish speaking language, little pito, little penis, and a family hell of a good man, give me the little dick and a good man. Because remember, I'm choosing the man. I'm not choosing these ornaments. And I know, and this is the thing. Men don't understand this. A woman just needs a big dick when she don't know how to truly love and connect with you. Once we love you and connect with you, we love, and when we love, especially black women. When we love.
Yeah.
We'll figure out how to work with that little thing. You got fingers and mouth, you got toys. Like when we love you, we love you.
Yeah.
And we figure out how to make it do what it do. You got women who are with men who got little penises and pay no bills because she love him. Now that's not doc approved. But that's not doc approved. But so for me, I'm not manifesting God the little pito type thing. But I'm saying, if it, and this is probably gonna be TMI, but I always joke with my best friend Lola and my sister, and I always say, girl, I'm not the woman who needs a big old penis.
Me either, girl. That shit hurt.
Wait a minute, Jess. But I said, why do God always send me the men?
Charlamagne, you feel
What the
like
fuck
that
is this?
Something you ain't never seen. Go here.
I said like this.
I'm familiar to you. I'm familiar to you.
Lauren, we don't know how many dicks he's saying.
You right. You
right.
right.
I know what
You right. And I got to be inclusive.
But I want to.
There's actually nothing more disgusting than hearing women talking about the size of guys that they used to been with in the past. That's why I don't know how people listen to female podcasts, because at some point in the conversation, they're going to bring it back to sex. It's just a huge turnoff when you hear a girl, especially a girl that you're trying to date or someone who's trying to pursue, and she starts talking about the guys in her past, and then she starts talking about the size, how they used to make her feel. That shit is disgusting, man. But get that out the way, right? I want to bring this all back to the high value man conversation. As you can see, nobody has a standard for what a high value man is. Since the passing of Godfather, Kevin Samuels, everybody has come up with their own makeshift term or their own idea for what a high value man is. And a lot of what you'll see is that they confuse a high value man with being a high earner. And there is a difference, right? There's 6 tenements to being a high value man. And I covered this in my previous videos. You can go watch that. But there's also a difference between a high value man and a high earner, which a lot of guys are. A lot of guys are just high earners, but that doesn't necessarily make them a high value man. And coming from Dr. Bryant's perspective, she's looking at just high earners being attractive to a lot of women. And while that is true, that doesn't necessarily make them high value. Another point I want to mention that she brought up is that she mentioned that herself is high value. Now, I talked about this in lengths before, but women cannot be high value. Women cannot be high value by themselves. For a woman to become high value, she would need to become married to a high value man. That was the only way that a woman can elevate her status and her value, is to be tied to another man who is high value. A woman on her own is not high value, because the greatest legacy value that women can bring to society as a whole is being a dutiful wife and mother and nurturing and upbringing of prestigious and elevated children into society. All right. So that means your value is essentially tied to children and loyalty to your husband. Without that, nobody really cares about the trips you took to Dubai. Nobody cares about the cars you drove. Nobody cares about how you rose the ranks in your career as a woman. Those are all traits that make men high value. Those are other things that men value in other men when they look to do business with them. All right. Outside of that, that's a man's primary way of how he can leave his mark on the world. And outside of that, women leave their mark on the world by being a dutiful wife and mother and bringing up the best children that they possibly can. And now back to the whole question that was asked, can he be high value and also be lacking in the sex department? Let's just say it's not just about size, but let's just say you're not able to put it down as a man. Now, are there some women where love is going to supersede that? Sure. But the main issue that you're missing out on and that they're essentially not seeing is that that is a masculine expression of dominance, right? And without that ability to be able to put it down on your woman, you're going to always be compared to other men in her past, which is why 304s don't get respected, or women with a lengthy past don't get respected. As you can see in this conversation, her and Jess have had various partners. With those various partners means various experiences, and believe it or not, they're going to be comparing you with those previous experiences based on how those guys made them feel at that time and how you're making them feel at that time. So I'm not saying you have to be her best in that department, but to some degree, you have to compare to those other guys that were in her past, right? Now, this is why guys look for youthfulness and women with less experience, because you're being much less compared to a woman who has a lengthy track history of going through men. When a woman has less experience, it's an easier barrier of entry for you to be her best. When she has a lengthy track history, you're really going to have to put yourself out there and pull out new tricks to become her best, or to at least leave a mark on her. And that's why I really don't believe love doesn't supersede all. You have to be able to put it down to some degree. And of course, you got to pull some tricks out the bag as a man. Every man is going to have a different body. But you got to work with what you have, and you got to be able to do the best that you can. You got to be able to leave a mark in that way. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. This is just a quick recap to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant's interview. If you guys like this content, subscribe, like the video, share the video, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.